OCO. Hope you all doing well out there. We in the building. Oh, my speaker's on. Hold up. Let me mute those. Okay. My apologies if you heard the feedback.
It's up.
Y'all can hear me, right? We good? Levante in the building. What up, Levante? What's going on? Amani in the building. What up, Amani? Blue Dreamer in the building. What's going on, Blue Dreamer? Loud and clear, excellent. Yeah, we about to get it started, man. I'm making sure I got everything on my side together. Do me a favor. When you walk in here, make sure you take your shoes off at the door by clicking the like button. Do me a favor. As soon as you walk in the door and you take your shoes off, click that like button. Everything good, Levante. We about to make it happen, man. We about to make it happen. Yeah, I know I was supposed to be doing this on Saturday. I crashed out. I was up for 72 hours. I ain't get no sleep. By the time my wife came up to me and was like, hey, and I had to handle my business as a husband. You know, that's the PG version, after all that, I think she made some food and I fell asleep. I ain't get up to the next day. Late the next day on top of that, which was Sunday. So that's why I was like, all right, I got them on Monday. For sure. Woods R.S. been a member for 11 months. Putting in work, yes, sir. Chi-Town in the building, Louisiana in the building. Life happens, absolutely, man, absolutely. Making love faces, you know what I'm saying? You already know. Finally caught alive. I'm glad you did, Brenda. Welcome aboard. Tuscaloosa, Alabama in the building. Boston in the building. Philly in the building. North Carolina in the building. Nebraska in the building. Delaware, Nashville, Gary, Indiana. Portland, Oregon, Delaware. H-Town in the building. I appreciate that. Tennessee in the building. Mobile, Alabama in the building. Chattanooga, Tennessee in here heavy. Charlotte, what's going on? Waco, Texas. Katy, Texas. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is that Katy? San Diego in the building. Raleigh, North Carolina in the building. North Carolina in the building. I see you. Little Rock in the building. Charleston, South Carolina in the building. What up? Boston, Naptown, Savannah, GA, Little Rock, Arkansas, Robbins, North Carolina, Duval, Robbins, North Carolina, Duval, what up? Hey, Florida, we gonna be down there, man. Killeen, Texas. Y'all got hit with a tornado, didn't y'all? Hope everything all right down there. Man, it seemed like all of Texas taking turns, man. Hey, they playing games with this weather, man. Austin in the building. H-Town in the building. Mound Builders of Mississippi in the building. Kingston, North Carolina. Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio. I see y'all back to back. Detroit, Michigan. Las Vegas. We coming out there. You drinking up the coffee? I got mine right beside me. Southeast San Diego, Michigan. Tuskegee Indians, Jacksonville, Florida, yeah, I gotta come out there. Hershey, wait a minute, Hershey, Pennsylvania, wow. I ain't see y'all in a minute, shout out to Hershey. B Moore in the building. What up, Baltimore? Cleveland, Ohio, what up, Ohio, always showing love. Pittsburgh, PA. Pensacola, Florida in the building. Atlanta in the building. There go ATL. I think you said Switzerland. It kind of went past Switzerland. What up? Georgia in the building. Cherokee, Georgia in the building. I see you. Norfolk, VA in the building. What up, Virginia? Naptown, what up? Detroit in the building. Lancaster, PA in the building. You finally caught a live Atwood. Miss Juicy in the building. What up, Brooklyn? What up, Brooklyn? Matter of fact, yeah, shout out to Brooklyn. Got a couple folks from Brooklyn and the Bronx. What up, Queens? I see, where Brooklyn at? I see, bro. What up, Mr. Ace? Yeah, I see Miami in the house. There go H-Town. Houston in the building. It's going down. St. Louis in the building. Marietta, Georgia. Oh man, y'all showing up and showing off. Kalahari, man, thank you for being a member for 24 months in a row. Halito, OCO, brother, how you? OCO, Amanda Vaughn, thank you for being a member for 21 months in a row. Christopher Beasley, thank you for becoming a member. Richmond, VA in the building. Bronx, they go BX. What up, BX? Palmdale, Cali. Roberta, Georgia. Cleveland, Cleveland, Texas. Man, where that's at? What up, Texas? Cleveland, Texas in the building. I think that says Springfield, Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Springfield, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio. Toledo, Ohio. What up, Ohio? Y'all back to back. Compton in the building. Durham, North Carolina in the building. Oklahoma, I see you. Oklahoma City in the building. Atlantic City, New Jersey. What up, Jersey? Canton, GA. Memphis Teen in the building. What up, Memphis? Montgomery, Alabama. Pittsburgh, Kansas. What up, Kansas? Fort Wayne, Indiana. Katy, Texas. Grand Rapids, Michigan. What up, Dallas? What up, Denver? Kansas, Charlotte, North Carolina. Fort Mills, North Carolina. Raleigh, North Carolina. Y'all back to back. What up, North Carolina? Hold up. Let me switch this real quick.
OCO, freethinkers. You're now tuned into the realest historian on the planet.
This brother, he is raising some serious questions.
He's here to make you think.
What I'm trying to do is get our people to understand that we have been lied to all the way around about our history. Can you name any other group of people, no matter their skin complexion, that are being labeled primarily as the name of two continents? Not two countries, two continents. That is called a misnomer. which is the act of applying a wrong name to some person or thing.
The best teacher you wished you had in school. Have your pens and paper handy and get ready to take notes. Get ready to take notes.
I want y'all to check out somebody named Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway?
Look into Dane Calloway. He has a lot of information about how this whole shit was told in reverse. Okay? Where they say, oh, we came from Africa over here. No, a lot of us was already here.
And information that was put together by a man by the name of Dane Calloway, who is also questioning the slave trade. And he's done some remarkable videos on the history of the slave trade in the United States. And he's gone back down the food chain and gone back down the line, and he's realized that a lot of the so-called African Americans in the United States are not African at all. They're actually Native Americans, because the slave trade did not happen the way we were told that it happened.
It's Dane Calloway.
Go and watch this man's channel, man. This dude is phenomenal.
I'm not saying African American because they're not African American. They're the Aboriginals, because they were the true Native Americans.
Set it on fire.
They're the copper colored race. Look up Dane Calloway and watch his fucking shows. That man, Dane Calloway on YouTube, oh my God. He is fucking beyond brilliant. The research he does, whoo, he goes way deep into this shit.
Relax and take notes.
It's Dane Calloway on I'm Just Here to Make You Think Radio.
Ease. Look. This is what we gonna do, right? We gonna do it like this, is I gotta get hype. So this what I'm gonna do. I ain't gonna play too hard of a beat. It's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna keep it soulful. You know what I'm saying? I know some folks out there that's celebrating the holiday and stuff like that. That's cool. I'm not gonna knock you. Do what you do, right? Hey, 16. Shout out to M16. Same time. The real Birdman Jr. been a member for 12 months. What up, Birdman? Woo! Let's go. Hey. Lock Goddess, thank you for being a member. Jess, thank you for being a member for 37 months in a row. Let's go. Hey, I should freeze out. I ain't gonna do it. CEO Boss Dow's in the building. Yeah, shout out my bro, M16, Alabama. You already know. Let's get it. Woo! Hey, 16. We might have to put this one in the cut. Yeah, cause I'ma just, oh man, don't let me take off. I was.
Set it on fire.
Choctaw, Montana, what's going on? Cleveland in the building. Chicago in the building. I'm getting myself hyped real quick, cause I know we about to be a little second. Rasta Man Chad, Lady MG, what's up? Larry. 757 Bad News VA. What up, Virginia? What up, Maryland? What up, DC? That's DMV. Mooresville, North Carolina. Sister Bethy, thank you for becoming a member. D, thank you for becoming a member as well. Hammond in Indianapolis, Colorado. 504 Bucket. What up, Louisiana? Duval in the building. Yeah, see, I'm drinking my coffee at the same time, so it's like this giving me some time to sip my coffee.
Set it on fire.
Look. Alright. So this is what we gonna do. Let me do this one. Yeah, let me put that one on for right now. I'm gonna be flip-flopping through the music too at the same time. I hope I can remember that. All right, so this session, matter of fact, let me just give y'all a round of applause real quick. This session gonna be pretty major. I touched on this before. I touched on this last year. I pulled up some of my stuff. I'm gonna be playing the video. I'm gonna post up a couple of articles. And I'm gonna state a few things here. Not only is it gonna refresh your memory, but it's about bringing awareness. Like what I'm gonna be talking about, during this particular session is not to scare you. This is not about scaring you and no, this is strictly about awareness because there are some possibilities lingering. There are some could-be's lingering. I'm just about bringing awareness. That's what I'm about. I'm here to make you think. Like that's been my overall agenda ever since I started. Okay. Now, of course, I'm going to leave it up to you to think. I'm not going to force you to think. I'm just here to make you think about the things that I'm presenting to you. So I'm going to, let me see something. So now this is what we're going to get into. I think the very first thing I should touch is going to be like the refresher, like so you can be aware of what I'm talking about here. So, okay, let's go right here. And then I'm going to pull up this article. You guys can see it. Now, a part of the conversation that I was having during the last live stream when I was talking with Top Cats, that was a podcast that happened a year ago. And at that time, in between every other topic we were referring to, we were talking about the frequencies and how it could affect the humans. Like some of you all may have heard Terrence Howard, for example, when he was on a Joe Rogan podcast, correlating the frequencies with humans at the same time, colors and other things, other elements. Now, this particular point, I want to talk about what I talked about last year as a reminder, dealing with the 5G and how at that time, Verizon and AT&T, who are the largest, supposed to be the largest providers for telecommunications, was put to it was stopped. Well, I'm not going to say stopped. It was paused. That's what I want to say. For them to bring about 5G as a fully operational system. Like it was halted for quite a while. Like, in fact, it didn't go live until January 8th, 2022. And it wasn't in its to its full capacity. Still to this very day, for multiple reasons that I have to break down. And it can sound scary, but it's not. But it is something that we're going to have to do about it because it is going to affect the people. Okay. I don't see enough conversations about this. I mean, I'm sure many of you remember or could recall certain people online trying to match 5G with the effects of or elevating the effects of 19, if you know what I'm talking about, and all of its side effects and everything else in between. Enhancing it rather. They were stating that these lower and high frequencies, waves will enhance that particular illness. Was it true? It did come back true. A lot of that stuff was already proven a while ago, and a lot of us were already informing you who were in the tech field to let you guys know that this is an issue. Then it's still an issue now. Some of you may not know that because you feel as though it's going to be a convenience for you to surf the internet faster. I mean, but really, why? Why do you need to surf the internet faster? 4G LTE was fine. 3G was good. What's the point of going faster? I mean, you bring your emails up and like seconds. Your questions that you type into Google, seconds. What's the point? Some of those people out there that are video gaming, that need upload speed, it's quick. Any of you that have the internet with whatever provider, the download speed is quick. What is the reason? What is the true reason? Now, back then in 2000 and hold on, let me get that date really quick. In fact, I have the article, so let me pull that up right now. Okay. Wait, not this yet. Not this yet. I want to show you all back in, okay, January 20th. Hold on, let me make sure I zoom in. January 20th, 2022. This was at a time where they were delayed with the rollout of 5G. And I wanted to point that out because at that time, of course, 5G was not fully operational to the consumers. Okay. Now, keep in mind, this is January 20th, 2022, and I'm going to bring you up to date, but we got to start from the top. So even if you had 5G compatible devices at that time, it wasn't fully operational. Even though they announced 5G back in 2019, don't get it twisted, you still wasn't fully operational. The reason being is because both Verizon and AT&T at that time purchased C-band spectrum for their own 5G networks back in February of 2021. February 2021 for a grand total of $70 billion right here. Last year, AT&T and Verizon spent nearly $70 billion to buy a portion of wireless spectrum called C-band, which covers frequencies. Keep in mind, I need y'all to understand this. This is very important. Which covers frequencies from 3.7 to 4 gigahertz. Now, so as of now, they were relying on the wave. In fact, they still are in certain cases with their 5G. The wave is a little bit faster than this other one that they would utilize it called sub-6 connectivities. I'm not trying to sound, all technical, but the whole point is that that was still like 4G and 4G LTE to simplify things. So they were not really on a 5G network fully operational again. This means that those commercials that you were seeing everywhere since 2019, promoting that AT&T or whoever, telecommunications company had the most reliable or largest 5G network, it was all a gimmick. It was all a gimmick, at least until this point, until January of 2022. In fact, still, the map coverage, for example, this is right now. Let me see how this says January 2024. Right now, as far as the 5G networks, Verizon is real spotty in certain areas. T-Mobile is spotty in certain areas, but it's actually T-Mobile is still like the largest, but they're not on the wave. They're still utilizing the sub-6. So what they did was they just connected all of their services with their original or already existing 4G towers. This is the reason why T-Mobile will have the better coverage, but that doesn't mean that the speed is faster, because even according to them, the wave is a lot faster. So it says, while this lower frequency 5G isn't as fast as we've seen wave networks, the extension coverage makes it more practical for users. Okay, so regardless, they're not as quick. They're gonna have the coverage because they're just connected. They're repeating the signal. That's it. AT&T, same thing. They're spotty as far as the 5G is concerned. Now, and what I mean by that is they're going to claim that they're servicing millions of customers already as far as up-to-date reasons. They're going to be claiming that they're doing that, but it's not quite there still to this very day in 2024. It's only been 2 years. It's going to take them a while. In fact, they had a plan for this to be fully operational by 2030. You're going to see that. I'm going to pull that up. And y'all should remember Agenda 2030. We're going to get there, though. We're going to take it slow. Now, back in, hold on, I'm about to grab that date. December 31st, 2021. December 31st, 2021. So this was right before they rolled out the first initial phases of 5G. There was numerous reports coming out stating that the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Administrator of the Federal Aviation Administration made a last-minute request and a letter to both the CEOs of AT&T and Verizon, because they were going to be the first ones to roll it out, stating that they have multiple aviation safety concerns, very important, surrounding the C-band 5G service that both companies plan to roll out. They were fearing that the use of C-band spectrum, the C-band spectrum for 5G wireless, could interfere with sensitive aircraft electronics, disrupt flights, and result in some diversions. They even stated that the C-band 5G could disrupt aircraft's radio altimeters. The altimeters allowed the planes to land in low visibility conditions. And on the website, and I'm about to pull this up. In fact, I think I have this one. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this. The FAA posted notes stating that it was a wide range of other safety systems, naming at least 17 of them, from terrain awareness and ground proximity to takeoff and flight control, and as well as various warning systems will all have, they will take their frequencies will be crossed. It could be a big interference with not only your regular commercial planes, but anybody in the sky. Anybody in the sky. Now, it's absolutely dangerous. Both telecom CEOs originally rejected their request. I want to state this again. They delayed the rollout, but they eventually delayed the rollout, but at first they rejected it. So they pushed it all the way up to January 3rd. And then they said, all right, tell you what, we'll only delay it for 2 weeks in order for the FAA and U.S. transportation officials to study the matter for safety reasons. But after that delay, they will eventually roll out 5G networks regardless. Now, the FAA in this statement, hold on, let me look really quickly, because they were giving updates galore about how this was hurting them. And eventually it's going to hurt other things that share that same frequency. I should have marked what part I'm looking for. Hold up, because it's different dates if you can already tell. Yeah, because they're talking about the altimeters and which planes will be affected. 1 second. And look how 18, 17, 16, they were really trying to get this done. This was constantly being updated, and I was always, I kept my eye on this the first time around when I brought this up. All right, give me a second, because this is a lot, and I have to go to my writing to find out exactly where that's located. Hold on 1 second, because I want to point this out. But while I'm doing that, we know for sure that the planes have been flying around and taking off and landing around these type of frequencies for years already. But the problem is that, like, if you, for example, matter of fact, I believe it's right here anyway. Yeah, allocations in the 3.4 to 3.7 gigahertz spectrum, not the 3.7, 3.9 gigahertz spectrum. That is the issue. That is the issue for radio altimeters. Now, the band, okay, just those bands alone, anything higher than 3.7 can cause massive problems with their systems and aircraft. Hands down. Hands down. That's another thing I'm going to be pointing out is this video. I should bring this up right now. Matter of fact, let me bring that video up right now. Because I did a video as soon as that happened. I remember I was talking to Top Cats about there was 2 planes that it was at a air show in Dallas. They crashed out the blue, and these were veterans. That wasn't supposed to happen, right? And then planes were forced to ground, like locally in Texas. I believe that was still Dallas because of interference. And then turn right around right after that. Y'all should remember the national grounding. Okay, hold on one second. Let me play it. Let me bring it up. And I'm leading it all the way up to right now. That's what I'm doing right now. So if you're familiar with this is fine. But I got to refresh everybody else's memory that are unfamiliar with it. Here we go. Well, see you, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Today, I want to go over something that is very important and urgent for everyone to be aware of. Now, just a few days ago, the entire nation saw that planes, aircraft, were forced to land. They were all grounded. Those that were getting ready to leave and those that were already inbound, all forced to land. Now, in my previous live stream, I let everybody know, do not fly right now. And I also told them why, in which I'm going to tell you again here. And I'm also going to tell you the reason why they're not telling you why they were forced to land. So let's begin with the information that we were told by way of the news media.
This is a sweeping outage. We want to get right to NBC's Tom Costello, who covers aviation for us. Tom, what do we know? How many flights do we think are impacted here?
Well, at the moment, we've got more than 1,100 flight delays, and at the moment, about 95 or so cancellations. That may change through the morning. Here's what we know. This is the computer system that's called NOTAM, it used to be called Notice to Airmen. Now it's called Notice of Air Missions. And the bottom line is, this is the computer system that pilots rely on to find out the latest information from the FAA on air safety, for example, on whether a runway is closed or perhaps airspace is closed because of military operations or a rocket launch. That system went down this morning. The FAA has been trying to get it back up, rebooting the system piece by piece. They say that they are making progress, but at the moment, still, this NOTAM computer system is not up and running at full capacity. And as a result, the ripple effect across the country is that flights are right now, some are taking off, but for the most part, many airlines, United, for example, says that it is simply not going to allow flights to depart right now because it needs this computer system up in terms of safety. You don't want pilots flying into an airport if, for example, a runway is shut down, for example, or there are particular safety advisories. So at the moment, that has slowed operations. It has not completely stopped operations. You can see we do see planes on the ramp moving on the tarmac there at LaGuardia. This will probably, though, even if they get the system up and running quickly, this will likely have an impact throughout the day. As you know, these things kind of cascade. The good news is, for the most part, the weather across the country right now, except in the Pacific Northwest, is really not a big factor.
So we can rule the weather out. We could rule the weather out, just not because, it was a little bit of weather happening in the Northwest Pacific. Okay, that doesn't affect the entire nation. At least not simultaneously, okay? To the point where everybody had to be grounded, right? So we could rule the weather out. That's one thing.
The flights coming into the United States from Amsterdam, from Gatwick in London, also from Frankfurt, they are still inbound as we checked with those particular airports and those flight operations. But this is all about the Notice to Airmen. Again, Notice to Air Missions. They recently changed that. And as a result, this system, which is critical to air safety, is right now in sort of a hiccup stage. By the way, you may recall that they had a similar problem affecting only air traffic in Florida. This was back on January 2nd, the most, or one of the busiest travel days of the holiday season, and Florida air traffic ground to a halt for several hours because of a computer problem.
Sorry, just real quick before I let you go, I know you want to report it out
before
a little bit more.
Before I let you go, look, she cut him off. Okay, that was very important because something happened very similar to Florida air traffic. They had to halt everything on January 2nd, 2023.
It may have been reported near your, wherever you are, but that's a local situation. Not all local situations are reported nationally. And that's another thing that we're going to be getting into, because a lot of things happened that nobody's aware of. So that's about it with this one that I wanted to really show you guys. I'm going to move on to another video that I wanted to show you, because it was something that was said that was very important.
The nation's air travel system has had another long and difficult day. By late afternoon, nearly 1,300 flights had been canceled and more than 8,000 delayed because of a critical system failure at the FAA.
I just want to quickly point out that this was last year. I just want to quickly point that out. I need that to be the focus. This is not a long time ago, ladies and gentlemen. And things have not been corrected. And I'm getting ready to point that out to you. So be prepared. Keep in mind, this is about awareness. I'm not here to frighten you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. You are a grown human being. I'm just here to make you think. Let's continue real quick.
Failure forced the FAA to call a nationwide halt to operations for several hours. Federal officials vowed to get to the bottom of an outage that disrupted travel plans for millions of people.
A wave of delays and cancellations rippled from coast to coast just as the nation's airports were starting their day. The sudden shutdown left terminals filled with travelers with nowhere to go. The FAA's ground stop order was lifted just before 9 a.m. Eastern Time, but the disruptions lingered for hours. Pat and Allison Kavanaugh were trying to fly out of Newark, New Jersey.
I'm really upset, but what can I do?
But it makes you kind of nervous. Is there something else that maybe we're not being told right now?
The problem started late Tuesday when the FAA's notice to air...
See? You notice that guy said it's probably obvious that there's something going on that they're not being told right now. So you know there's a major issue going on. Hold on, I just got a notification. It's in red. Hold on, let me pull that back up. Oh man, hold up, 1 second.
Set it on fire, fire.
Lafayette, Holly, big bomb. If y'all could show Lafayette Holly a lot of love in the chat for dropping a big dono like that, I appreciate that. Lafayette, I appreciate that, brother. That's major. Uh-oh, I had a bunch of stuff going at one time.
Set it on fire.
This should be good, though. My computer good. Lafayette, we appreciate that. We appreciate that.
It's go time, Slim.
Sassy Blue, thank you for becoming a member. MS, thank you for becoming a member. Erica Flowers, what up, sister? Been a member for 14 months in a row. I appreciate that, y'all. I do hear my Cash App. I'm getting to that in a quick second. 1 second, y'all. I'm not forgetting nothing. Don't get it twisted. Don't think I'm ignoring you. I really appreciate the donations. Y'all don't have to do that, but I appreciate that, okay? And I'm going to read them out.
Mission system went down. That antiquated computer system supplies information that flight crews must have before being allowed to take off. This morning, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said that initially, at least, there was no sign of a cyber attack.
There's been no direct evidence or indication of that, but we are also not going to rule that out until we have a clearer and better understanding of what's taking place.
Several hours later, he vowed to get to the bottom of what happened.
My top priority right now that the system is working again as of about...
So keep in mind, several hours later, he still has no idea what happened. He wasn't trying to rule out a cyber attack, so what else could it be?
The air travel system is heading back to a more routine schedule this evening, but today's disruptions led to the first nationwide flight stoppage since 9/11, and it's raised questions.
Woo! Y'all heard that? Listen, let me come back a tad bit. Listen, this was super important.
Again about the rely back to a more routine schedule this evening, but today's disruptions led to the first nationwide flight stoppage since 9/11.
That's a big deal. Let me show y'all something really quick, because that's a different secretary. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Let me show y'all And we're going to come right back to it. Okay. FAA chief who oversaw the Boeing safety and 5G rollout to resign. So before all of that took place, well, actually, when they knew they were having trouble, look, this is 2022. When they knew they were having trouble with those frequencies crossing, the chief got up out of there. He quit. He quit. So that was 1 year before the situation took place with the nationwide grounding. But in between that time, and I also noted that in that video that we were just watching, in between that time, accidents were already occurring. I know it was some in Texas. I know it was some in Florida that I could verify. And it wasn't nationally known. But when their system started going out nationwide, that's when they had to act. And that was 2023. So let's match this up real quick. The issue started happening as soon as they rolled out that 5G. The 5G started rolling out January 8th, 2022. He quit the very next month. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's come back. It's not a game.
And it's raised questions again about the reliability and vulnerability of our system. Our science and aviation special correspondent, nationwide flight stoppage since 9/11. And it's raised questions again about the reliability and vulnerability of our system. Our science and aviation special correspondent, Miles O'Brien, joins us now to look at those concerns. Miles, always good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Oh, before I play this guy, you're right. There was a movie that came out on this. Actually, it was a few of them. But one of them, Obama produced, right? And it was called what, y'all? Right. Right. But okay. What was the name of the movie? War. Nah, not the Civil War one. Come back. Come back. When they were showing you the planes were going down. Yes. Leave the World Behind. Yes, Obama produced that movie. He was a part of it. Big time. Major. I did a whole live stream about that. 4-hour live stream. Even invited people up. I wonder if people didn't put 2 and 2 together. That was already happening. Here. Also in that movie, he showed you what, y'all? What did he show you? When they were trying to get up out of there, they couldn't take the main roads, right? And they showed piles of Teslas. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Hold up. And that pissed off Elon Musk. Pissed him off. Right here. It was piles of Teslas. Y'all, if y'all didn't see this movie, I'm not trying to give it away, but this was one part of it where Teslas were moving on their own. Not being operated by human beings. They were crashing lined up. This is a big message right here. All of them white. No humans was in it. So who's controlling it? Well, I mean, they got the self-driving technology, Dane. And also in that podcast, I told you how it can be hacked. And I told you that technology that they were using. That hacked it to IBM software. That's a part of the software that Tesla utilizes in the cars. And I forgot the number, but it was in the millions of how many cars it affects. Keep in mind, Tesla, right on time, right after that, Tesla has a new patent. Hold on, let me come up. Called the steer-by-wire system. 2013, June 2013, steer-by-wire. I brought this up in the last live stream. Now, what that means is that this steering wheel is no longer mechanical connections to the wheels of the car. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just like a plane. I'm going to show you right here. So in other words, this is controlled electronically now, not mechanically. In disclosure, Tesla claims that the design allows for redundancy without having a mechanical steering system as a backup. Just imagine that. If your whole car shuts off while you're driving, how you gonna control that jump? God forbid if you run out of, I've been telling y'all to stop with these damn Teslas. If y'all run out of battery and they told you ain't no mechanical steering system is back up. None. God forbid you run out of battery. You ain't gonna end up like that. All of this has to deal with communications or telegraph communications or telecommunications because it's, being controlled by radio frequencies when you're dealing with, at this time, they're a steer-by-wire system on top of self-driving. Put it together. That's very dangerous. So let's continue.
Let's start with this system, the notice to air mission system that the FAA says went down late on Tuesday. What does it do and how did it create such a mess?
So notice to air missions, Amna, are the late changes to the game plan. You have published information on airports and what's available and what frequencies are working and what navigation systems are working. But things change, and before you take off, you want to know if that runway is closed or if that frequency is not working or if there is some airspace closed. That is all encapsulated in these notice to air missions, formerly known as notice to airmen. And they are sometimes minor little changes, sometimes very important, but most important, before an airliner can be dispatched on a flight, the pilots have to be briefed on what the NOTAMs are along their route of flight. So the good news is that the remedy for this problem is you just don't take off. It's not like a situation where something like this fails, airplanes fall out of the sky, but clearly causes huge disruption if it's not working.
And we heard there Secretary Buttigieg saying they're still trying to figure out.
You see the face I'm making? Keep in mind, this was before Leave the World Behind. And he said,
causes huge disruption if it's not working.
And we heard
minor little changes, sometimes very important, but most important, before an airliner can be dispatched on a flight, the pilots have to be briefed on what the NOTAMs are along their route of flight. So the good news is that the remedy for this problem is you just don't take off. It's not like a situation where something like this fails, airplanes fall out of the sky.
I'm going to let that sink in. Because think about it. How do you know that? If they're unable to communicate with communications, if they're unable to utilize their GPS, if they're unable to be notified about their approaching terrain, their surroundings, the weather, anything can happen. Now, I'm not saying they're just going to be dropping. But again, if they have, and they do, Planes have, again, the same technology. Y'all can look this up. Steer-by-wire system. It's been around for a long time. It's just that, Tesla patented their version. But planes have a steer-by-wire system as well. In other words, because think about it, don't that look like a plane's steering wheel? Think about it. If their system prevents them from steering, the only thing that a pilot could do is cross his hands and let Jesus take the wheel. I'm not trying to be funny, but the reason why I'm saying that, in other words, is that you're letting something out of your control take control. I'm going to say this again. The steer-by-wire system has always been in aircraft. Always. There's no system where it's mechanical, where they can mechanically steer the plane. It was always electronical. So if that electronic system can't talk to other systems that control it electronically, they got a problem. Of course, they're on the news. They not gonna, people like that are not gonna state the obvious. They're still trying to figure out the damn problem. But when there's signals being crossed, like for example, in radio, right? If you have a small radio at your house, let's just say you got a CB radio, right? You can pick up other radio signals if those signals cross, correct? Absolutely you can. You could be having a conversation where it's, you two-waying you and someone else. And if someone is within that same area and they're on that same channel, those frequencies are going to get crossed and your conversation will be interrupted. All of a sudden, and you all of a sudden hearing somebody else's conversation. Think like that. There's no way that the FAA gonna put out this report on their official website, by the way. This is their official website. Breaking it down about the 5G C-band update. Giving their statements about, based off of their findings, about how it affects their signals. Ranging from 2000, since they started 5G, ranging from 2002 to now. Then all of a sudden, Tesla comes out the next year, does the steer-by-wire system. You see what I'm saying? Again, that chief knew something was wrong. He left as soon as 5G came out, basically. He said, nah, I'm out of here. Nope. Y'all can have that. I'm telling y'all, that same steer-by-wire system is in them planes. This is all electronical. And it gets deeper. Keep in mind, I did bring you up to date because this is still ongoing right now. But it gets deeper. Let's continue.
But clearly causes huge disruption if it's not working.
And we heard there Secretary Buttigieg saying they're still trying to figure out what was the root cause. How did this happen? How do they keep it from happening again? What are some of the possible theories?
Possible theories.
Those of us who follow the FAA closely are frankly not surprised to see a technological glitch, sadly.
Not surprised.
This is an agency that has historically been underfunded on its effort to modernize. It's basically a system that was built from, after World War II, 1950s technology, using spinning radar domes and UHF radio transmissions.
Hold on. Let's slow it down. He's saying that these aircrafts
are using 1950s technology. Keep that in mind.
The system that was built from after
The reason
World War
why,
II.
hold up, the reason why that's very important is because that 1950s technology is that telecommunications technology. Those towers. That's when you start seeing the towers pop up. Realistically, those of you that were born in the 50s and the 60s should know this. That's when they started putting up the towers heavy. That's when you had the 1G or the 1 gen. The first generation, the second generation, the third generation, as far as your cell phone towers. Back when Verizon was Bell Atlantic, Bellcom, Bell South. Y'all should remember that. AT&T was cellular. Okay, they were all of them came from Bell Atlantic or Bell in general. All of them came from Bell. All of them, even Sprint, all of them came from Bell. They were different branches. It was, just think about that. It was only one company at that time that was in charge of the bandwidth of those same radio frequencies that we're utilizing today. At that time. So now, yes, y'all saying it. Bell South. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It was Bell. Before Verizon, it was Bell. That's the same company. Yes, Southwestern Bell. Bell was major. It was Bell on top of everything. Dealing with all of it. Satellites, the Gwen oh, let me not say that right now because I don't know if that's a trigger word. I'm going to show that too, though. Hopefully. I think we could get into that today. I'm going to have to keep in mind, y'all, I'm going to have to censor certain things because I don't know how, YouTube going to act, unfortunately. But I'm still going to show you the best way that I can. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Like at that part right there where I was just getting ready to get into, I am going to start displaying them on screen. I may even just say it my damn self. If I get in trouble, I would just do the live stream again tomorrow. Like, we'll see. Let's go.
1950s technology using spinning radar domes and UHF radio transmissions between the ground and pilots.
Transmission.
It hasn't moved into the space age, as it were, as it should have, using satellites and computer transmission. And so as it has moved technologically in fits and starts into the modern age, there have been glitches along the way. Nothing quite like this one, but it is indicative of the fact that the agency needs to spend more on its infrastructure.
Along the way from the 1950s until now. There was only a few minor glitches, but this is something major. So what changed? What could have possibly allowed their systems to go down? What changed in the frequencies?
The fact that it is so safe is quite remarkable to me, frankly.
The fact that it is so safe is quite remarkable. Right after that,
he's controlling the narrative.
Who make the system work in spite of its antiquated technology.
So, okay, let's sum this up because I'm about to get into this. 1950s technology, right? Apparently their remedy is, let's beef up the technology. But you're saying that they're utilizing UHF radio frequency towers. Let's move it over to satellites. As if satellites are not just going to repeat that same signal.
They're nothing but repeaters.
Frequency.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you what this is all about. Okay, so what I really wanted to get into right here was, after I brief you all about the situation at hand, was something that I got into the day it happened, which was 1 year ago from today, back in January 2022, where I informed everybody that we do not want 5G. During that live stream, I explained how, of course, we were all introduced to 5G technology back in 2019 as if it was coming. Keep in mind, that was not the date that it was going to roll out or the date that it was going to cut on. The actual date that it was supposed to cut on was January 5th. 2022.
Then they pushed it back.
But the problem was that the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, put out a statement to internet providers, cell phone providers, AT&T and Verizon, to, hey, don't put this 5G signal out because they are afraid that it may mess up their signals in their aircrafts. Now, that's very important for people to understand because that's taking things a step further when it comes to safety concerns that these people are not talking about right now. So what did Verizon and AT&T do? They delayed the rollout of 5G and gave them 6 months to get themselves together because they were going to still make it happen, regardless of what they say, do, feel. That's major. Let me explain. Now, according to reports, both companies agreed to the last-minute request made by the Secretary for the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Administrator of the Federal Aviation Administration, cited in a letter to both CEOs of each company on Friday, December 31st, 2021, that they have multiple aviation safety concerns surrounding the C-band 5G service that both companies plan to roll out, fearing that the use of C-band spectrum for 5G wireless services could interfere with sensitive aircraft electronics, disrupt flights, and result in some diversions. They even stated that C-band 5G could disrupt aircraft's radio altimeters, which allow planes to land in low visibility conditions. On their website, the FAA posted notices stating that anomalous data readings from altimeters could in turn affect a wide range of other safety systems, naming at least 17 of them, from terrain awareness and ground proximity to takeoff and flight control, as well as various warning systems. Right. Now, of course, this is obviously dangerous, but both telecom CEOs originally rejected their request to delay the rollout, indicating that it would cost too much money to do so, and they would continue their rollout regardless. But then they both had a change of heart recently on January 3rd, 2022, stating that they would delay the rollout, but only for 2 weeks. So they bumped it up for the FAA and the U.S. transportation officials to study this matter. So it was, at first it was 6 months. Then they said, no, 2 weeks for safety reasons. In mind. But after this delay, they will eventually roll out their 5G regardless. Now, we all know that planes have been flying around, taking off, and even landing around these type of frequencies for years now. Right. But according to the FAA, the bands of previous radio frequencies from 4G signals were around 3.4 gigahertz to 3.7 gigahertz. And that anything higher than 3.7 can cause massive problems with their systems and aircraft, in which 5G would, if it isn't turned down around particular airports. Now, on this particular website, I just showed you the FAA website, there's a statement that they made on 5G. This was dated back in June 17, 2022. 5G C-band update. What's very important that I want to point out here is that they were saying that they were going to be working with these companies and making sure that everything was going to be fine and everything should be good to go and completed. It says right here to be largely completed by July 2023. That's what I was looking for. And then it says after that time, the wireless companies expect to operate their networks in urban areas with minimal restrictions. Okay, now with all of that being said, this goes to show you that there's no more restrictions. They're not trying to tell everybody that the 5G is affecting the aircraft. In fact, it's going to be affecting everything that's utilizing that type of signal or frequency in this sense. Because here's an image of a UHF tower. Take a look at that. These are UHF towers. They are the exact same towers that they utilize for 3G, 4G, and 5G. The G is standing for generation. So you had the second gen, or the first gen, the second gen, the third gen, the fourth gen, now the fifth gen network. All they're doing is adding repeaters of the signal, but at a broader scale. These frequencies are much greater. That's emitting radiation. I'm going to get into that in a different video, but that's the problem right there, and they're not trying to tell people that. Now, after all of this time, ever since they announced back in 2019 that 5G is coming, after all of this time, now we're seeing the effects of 5G, and it's just begun because they are now shutting on these towers and their repeaters, okay? And they're not even worried about the effects that it will have on other devices or other aircraft, anything that is utilizing these type of frequencies, including that's including us, your cable, that's including your cell phone, that's including the aircraft, that's including the radio stations. And don't forget, what's very important about the radio stations is that our police officers are going to be able to communicate if something gets shut off or something is glitching. If you need help, and let's just say, for example, the operator that you're on the phone with is trying to dispatch police officers to you, but their systems are down. How are they going to communicate?
Right.
What you're going to say, their cell phone? Well, what if that's gone? What if the cell phone, radio, all of that is gone? How are they going to be able to communicate? What, they going to pull out Morse code and let them know, hey, this person needs help at such and such address? You got to think about that. They're all communications. This has to deal with communications in general. Like if communications get wiped out all across the board, what are people forced to do? What's going to happen? So with all of that being said, there is a problem that people need to pick up on when it comes to this 5G. It's always been a problem. Now, what are the effects of this 5G on humans?
Right.
If it could affect planes and everything else that has to deal with that particular frequency, what about us as humans?
That's a lot of radiation.
We are electrical beings. Do we know the side effects of this type of stuff? When humans, now apparently they're not worried about people's safety. They're worried about trying to communicate with somebody. But who are they trying to communicate with? Why do they need to have, 4G was fine. There's nothing wrong with 4G. In fact, do you see any difference in your 5G network right now? Are you actually surfing the web faster on your cell phone since 5G came onto the scene? Who are they trying to communicate with? Think about that. What's so important? Who is so important that you have to enable some type of advanced technology in order to communicate with their personal people? Who is that? Who are you trying to communicate with? That's so important.
Who you trying to communicate with? That's so important. So I'm going to bring, actually, before I get to that point, let me make sure, hold up. I'm going to bring to your attention something else. Now, to go a little further, for people to understand why this is all happening, like, it can't just be the United States. And you're right. If you're thinking just like that, you're right. It's not just the United States. I'm about to show you this really quickly. Hold on, let me get it pulled up on my side real quick. Okay, now, I want to show you that it has everything to do with all governments that are involved in the United Nations. What you're getting ready to see is, hold up, I'm about to show you right here. This is called the International Telecommunications Union. The International Telecommunications Union. They are part of the United Nations. They have been in existence since 1865. Again, International Telecommunications Union. They are a part of the United Nations. They have been in existence since 1865. Radio was in existence for a long time. Long time. I remember I had that when I had that conversation with it was some pan goofy, and I was trying to tell them that radio was in existence during the Civil War, which began in 1861, by the way. They had that before it went commercially. It was already in existence. And I asked them, I said, well, how do you think they were able to communicate during the Civil War? What, Morse code? Think about that. No walkie-talkies. How were you able to let people know where to go? Dispatch help when necessary, like backup, dispatch medics when necessary, dispatch aircraft when when necessary. This is telegraph communications. It's been in existence for a long time. Matter of fact, this is called the International Telecommunications Union now. but it was originally known as the International Telegraph Union. Correction, International Telecommunications Union is what it's called now. Originally, it was known as International Telegraph Union. Now that's radio, that's satellite, that's Morse code, it's all of them combined. All of them. They're located in Geneva, Switzerland. Hold on, I'm trying to... okay, see where it say Geneva, Switzerland? Hold up. Do they say it right here? See, okay, IT, hold on, let me make this bigger. ITU is the United Nations Specialized Agency for Information and Communication Technologies. Yes, headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. There you go. Which that's the exact same area where the creator of Harriet Tubman came from, Sir Bradford. For those of the people out there that was like, he don't know. Harriet Tubman is real. Sir Bradford created that story. And she's from here, Geneva, Switzerland. How she know Harriet Tubman? I'm talking about created the character and the story. Paid to do that and then just left right after that. Nobody knew nothing about Harriet Tubman if it wasn't for Sir Bradford of Geneva, England. Correction, Geneva, Switzerland. And I called out people that was trying to call out me. I called them out. I'm like, yo, debate me. If you want to debate me on Harriet Tubman existence and Nat Turner existence, let's go. Let's go. When I didn't just state this, I clearly showed you government records that they were made up. Government records. I showed you the affidavits. I showed you the copyright paperwork. I gave you their names, the dates. I gave it all to you. But no, you want to hold on tight to these fictional characters. And these the same people that's controlling your telecommunications. Keep in mind, this is what Verizon and AT&T buying that C-band from. We're going to get into that. They've been in existence for over 150 years. They in control of Belgium, France, Germany, the Netherlands, the United States. 1865, y'all. Clear as day. Now, before the ITU, I'm about to show y'all something else. There was a company before this company. Some of y'all may recall me talking about this. Here's the company before that company. I'm talking about older than that. So keep in mind, the ITU was 1865. This company right here, or agency rather, is called the Central Commission for the Navigation on the Rhine. Central Communication for the Navigation of the Rhine. Did I say of or on? I meant to say on. No, of. I meant to say of. Okay, let's click history. They should have everything on here. And if they don't, look. The Central Commission was formally constituted in 1815. It is the international organization whose function is to encourage European prosperity by guaranteeing a high level of security for navigation on the Rhine. This is the world's oldest international organization that is still in operation. All the ITU does is separated by region. Region 1 is Europe, Africa, parts of the Middle East, and Northern Asia. Region 2 is the Americas, the Caribbean, and Hawaii. That's all of us. Region 3, yeah, you heard it. They said European prosperity. Region 3, Asia, Southeast Asia, the Pacific Islands, Australia, and New Zealand. So they go through ITU, but their head honcho, CCNR. So if you ever wonder who was in control of that, now you know. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because this also goes to show you that this cabling and this spectrum, this wireless spectrum, this frequency channels, all of this, like what we thinking is brand new technology. And remember that guy said 1950? It's been around way longer. One company was done 1865. This one, 1815. History going back to 1804. But think about that now. They told us the United States got its independence in 1776. So wait a minute. So it goes further. It goes further back. Yes, it does. My wife and I are getting ready to release some videos we have been working on for about 1.5 years now, probably 2 years now. You all are going to see how this, what we're referring to right now, the radio channels, the channel frequencies, the broadband spectrums, all of this was already in existence prior to any foreigner's arrival on these lands. Cabling and stuff like that. Remember how you can see that some of the cabling are buried underground. In fact, they still bury cables underground. But think about that. If they bury it underground and they need to stretch it to another territory where we can still communicate with them, how is that done? Before it was wireless, it was wired. We're going to show you that the wires are buried not only underground, it's buried underwater. Ladies and gentlemen, not only is it buried underground, it's buried underwater and has been for years. I'm talking about years. You about to be introduced to the technology our ancestors had. The indigenous people had this on lock and key. They wanted to pretend like we didn't have anything. So they gave you images of what our ancestors could have possibly looked like. The men with their shirts off, you know what I'm saying, wearing feathered skirts. The women wearing feather bras and feather skirts, and they just carrying bow and arrows, and some of them was tomahawks. It was deeper than that. Because a teepee is nothing but a tent, meaning that person is there or stationed there temporarily. When we found not only did we found our people living in mounds and mountains, but our people were also living in castles, some of which we would call historic today, that were not built by none of these foreigners because they didn't have that type of technology. They didn't have that type of knowledge of that technology. The Bilderberg buildings, the Vanderbilts, and like, for example, those 13 families, they know. A lot of other countries of other continents know as well, the Dutch, the German. They display what our ancestors looked like back then throughout their museums when it comes to American history. still to this very day. And they also display what made our ancestors wealthy as far as resources are concerned. My wife exposed, if you're not on my wife's channel, definitely go check out Tanisha Calloway. My wife exposed on numerous occasions on her channel, and there's more coming. Get ready. She is on fire. She already exposed to you how they lied about, they were trying to state that we got our clothing from other countries. They lied. The reason why is because those particular materials could not be made without the special minerals that can only be crafted here in North America, where the minerals came from. So what makes you think that we were going to, and I'm gonna get back to the topic because I'm going off a little bit. I understand. I'm coming back to it. But what makes you think, for example, that we were going to not only have the minerals to create these particular clothings and dyes, rather, to put it on the clothing, stitch them up, and we wear it so we could last between winter, summer, spring, fall here. But no, we're going to outsource it. What makes you think we're going to outsource it from a country that's millions? I'm over exaggerating right here, but that's far away. I was about to say millions of miles. It's super far away. Why would we need to outsource it when we got the minerals here? But this is the reason why I was showing you guys in multiple different videos and live streams that this is the reason why they're trying to change the American Indian museums throughout the nation. They're shutting them down so they could take every proof and evidence that they had out because they see that we catching on. They're going to refurbish it as far as the stories are concerned and put it back up. Keep in mind, they never told, and here's another thing, they never told you what so-called Native American tribe had an issue with these museums that been up for years. Now, why all of a sudden Joe Biden, whichever one you want to choose, whoever playing that AI character, decided to come out this year and say, oh, we need to shut these American Indian museums down right now and take everything out. For what? Don't worry, it's temporary. We're going to open it back up. Listen to the agenda. They noticed that me and my wife caught on to what they were doing. We saw how they did it timeline-wise. That was quick. Gonna make up a law quick. They moved fast as hell. So fast that the news couldn't catch up. Remember I pointed that out? It was already sections inside of those museums that were empty before the news found out. And you know, that don't happen. Something major going on like that, the news should be on top of it. They already know the Biden law that came out and everything saying, oh, they about to switch it up. And nah, they already removed certain things. They removed the ones that we were pointing out inside of her videos. Sure was, because it's going to lead you right back to this land. Letting you know that it wasn't foreigners that had these minerals, that made these dyes, that created this, and all the way down to the blacksmiths. Remember we talked about the blacksmiths? We were the ones that were creating the guns because we were the ones that created the gunpowder. They took all that out. They don't want you to know. They want you to think that they started civilization here, as if we weren't civilized on our own, with our own governments, managing this territory on our own. Because we were. They want you to believe that we were less than. And then they crafted this story, multiple different stories, and handed it to foreigners and slapped the label Native American on them in order for them to take our place. And it's deeper than that, because they are not the only group that took our place. I'm going to simplify it by telling you that all foreigners took our place. Every person who was a politician has dual citizenship. Every person who was a director, a CEO, a deputy, this, that has a high power position, a high white collar. So notice how they're saying white collar, blue collar. White collar position in any branch of the government and their subdivisions are all foreigners for a reason. Very rarely do you see I'm talking about rarely, and do you see our people in power? For example, who was that? I believe it was Sister Betty the other day, and a couple other people was pointing out how that lady who is is a congresswoman, and she was arguing with some white lady trying to call her out because she was saying she had fake eyelashes. I think her name was Jasmine something. But keep in mind, she's a part of the she's a congresswoman of the damn, I was about to say damn, what's the name of that? Oh man, they call themselves the no, not Concerned Black Men. What's the name of that joint, y'all? We're supposed to be so-called black people of Congress. The help me out on that real quick, y'all. She's a part of that. Okay, Jasmine Crockett is her name. She's on the no, not progressive. The one, hold on. It's coming to the black caucus. Yeah, she's with them. But I'm gonna tell you right now, that was a distraction. Because if you notice, if you look at the surroundings of that video when that was taking place, she wasn't NAACP, she's Black Caucus. She was, everybody was laughing, surrounding her. And the other woman. And the guys that was trying to stop them. Everybody was laughing. Like if you notice the people that weren't talking, they were just sitting up there laughing and giggling and smiling. That was what you just saw, and what it really is anyway, was a Hollywood production. Like, what was the point of that? What was the point of it? Nobody get no cool points for that. Nobody get thrown in jail. Nobody get fired. Nobody get reprimanded. Notice that. When a politician does something wrong, in which they do all the time, nothing happens. We just keep moving. Remember I pointed that out about that Kathy, I forgot her last name, the governor of New York, and what she said about the so-called Bronx kids not knowing about computers. Listen, and she got away with that now. She didn't even apologize, but her statement, they considered it an apology. You didn't see sorry or apology in her statement, not one time, and got away with it. Like it ain't nothing. Some people think I'm gonna tell you right now, some people think I'm playing, but I'm not. I'm about my people. Some of y'all must still want to mess around and call yourself black when I told you that's holding you up. At the time when the Central Commission was formally constituted in 1865, there was no such thing as a black person. At the time that the International Communications Union, or Telegraph originally, Union was formulated in 1865, there was no such thing as a black person. Do you understand? No, you don't apparently, but you need to understand why that's important. Because these governments are not here to just govern themselves and govern the community as if they're doing great things for us. This is all about control. Now, when we talking about the United Nations, which means all the governments coming together as one, some of you will consider that the New World Order. That's been happening. The NWO has been here. They've been in play a long time ago. They've been in existence. Now, I remember I was telling y'all about Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, And I wouldn't be surprised if this joint say connect. Look, 2030 agenda. Uh-oh. And they gonna give you some BS. Uh-oh. Hold up. Yeah, just scramble NWO is now. That's right. I like that. That's the good one. They're gonna give you a chart. Just give them a chart. By the end of 2023, 81 countries had e-waste policies, legislation, or regulation in place. Keep in mind, this is telecommunications. By the end of 2023, 126 countries had crits, up to 109 in 2020, and 127 had national security cybersecurity strategies. Global e-waste monitor. Foreseeing this value going down, I'm gonna look up e-waste. The hell is that? All these abbreviations. I'm gonna look it up. But they hide their overall agenda in charts like this. Make it seem like they doing right for the people. Make it seem like they doing right by the people. And named it the same thing. Some of y'all know about this. Connect 2030 agenda, 2030 agenda. Some of y'all know. Named it the same thing. Admitting that they with the United Nations, they put it in front of you and don't care. The International Telecommunications Union and its membership are united in the aim of connecting all of humanity through modern communication technologies. And you know they got to be major if Verizon and AT&T is buying the broadband spectrum from them. Who put them in charge, bruh? Who told them that they in charge of the wireless spectrum? The wireless spectrum is consistent of electromagnetic radiation. That's what we need to be talking about, and frequency bands. Some of the countries can range up to 300 gigahertz, and some of them could go as high as 800 gigahertz. Basically, these frequencies used in communication are regulated by these organizations. Why? Right in front of that, did you know about standards? Wait, no, hold, go back. Did you know about standards to combat deep fakes? The AI for, oh no, man, come on, stop moving. The AI for Good Global Summit will explore technical tools and standards to combat deep fakes. Remember, I put out a few videos because that was my forewarnings about there could be something on the horizon in which they would try to use this AI technology, artificial intelligence, this deep fake, to bring something into place that could affect the elections. I just want this to be known that I'm just out here to make people think. But all of this stuff correlates. Again, this is the International Telegraph Union talking about deep fakes. And I showed you how the news was talking about they need to combat deep fakes. I also showed you how DARPA, which is a agency that's a part of the Department of Defense, talking about something they need to stop deep fakes. But the whole time, and let me speak for Texas, but I'm sure Oklahoma, it was Kentucky, Oklahoma, it was a couple of other places, and y'all can name them in the chat. A lot of y'all were experiencing a lot of bad weather these past, I'm gonna say about at least 2.5 months. And I'm talking about ranging from your typical thunderstorms to your hailstorms to tornadoes. And that season ain't even coming up yet. Like, I think that we like 2 weeks out for that type of weather. And when my wife and I heard those meteorologists and their tone of voice coming out stating that they have never seen tornadoes sit dormant in one area for that long, I knew. Some of y'all gonna say that that's HARP, but don't forget HARP was transferred to the DARPA years ago. I could quickly look that up and tell you which year that was. But HARP was given to DARPA a long time ago. And by the way, HARP stands for High Frequency Active Oral Research Program, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. It might not even be oral. It's something. It's something like that. Hold up. See if I can quickly look that up. Wow, wait a minute. They actually just did something recently. Hold on, let me not pull that up. I still need. Hold up. Okay. Is this it right here? Double checking. No, it's not, but I'm actually glad that they put these pictures up. Because those same type of frequencies that we're referring to is the same type of technology that HARP was utilizing in order to control the weather. We're talking about these same type of towers. Even though it may not look as quite as similar as your telecommunications towers, but they are doing the exact same thing. This is controlling the frequencies of the atmosphere. So it's not just a machine. It's just a bunch of these. Now, I did a segment on this as well. This was this is on the channel. That I believe that segment like 2 hours long, something like that. if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it was part 2 of why they called smart devices. But yeah, those wave frequencies are the same ones that's giving you your internet, that's giving you your connection on your telephone. That's allowing us to communicate right now. Okay, but too much, listen, too much of that radiation, because it emits radiation, especially the closer you get to these towers, is going to be bad for anything that's living, whether it be from animals to humans to plants, you name it. And again, at that time when they put out 19 during 2019, and they tried to act like things were mandated in 2020, dealing with 19, at that same time they had technicians going out putting up those same towers that I'm referring to expand that 5G or that 5th gen technology, which it ain't new. It's not new. It's just that now they're adding more repeaters. The reason why it will be faster sometimes for you is because it's more repeaters in the area. So just don't look at it like it's your cell phone capable of, producing that much or that faster speed. It's about your surroundings. You step outside and start looking at how many towers are in the area. They even got it set right now where the repeaters would look like light posts. You know how you got the street lights? They're going to look like street lights. They'll look like traffic lights. They'll look like mailboxes. This is right now. And meanwhile, you like, I'm surfing the web fast as hell, and it could be affecting your DNA strand. Because if you ever sit anything that's living beside one of these towers long enough, I dare you to come back maybe a day or two later and notice the difference. They try not to put these towers up near trees because they know the tree is going to die. If anything, they're going to cut that tree off, or cut it down rather. If you got one near a tree, start taking pictures and notice the difference within a week. Because that same effect on trees will be the same effect on you. We got to stop them from doing this. And then they making everything electronical. To go back to all these EVs that they want to mandate and have us drive. They don't want it to be gas powered, but keep in mind, oh, did I share that video? No, I shared that video on the 13% community server. They don't have enough resources to keep up with these batteries. They need gas to keep up with the demand of these batteries. They need natural gas. Number one, the minerals that it takes, they're going to need natural gas. Number two, number three, you're limited. They're going to say it's a fast charger this, a fast charger that. You feel like waiting for 30, 45 minutes to charge your car up? To go another however many miles it tell you? When you trying to get up out of there, it's an emergency? And then I showed you in that other video that even if your car is driving, when a police officer hit their siren, the whoop, it shut your Tesla off and roll down the windows. And that same video I showed you that the government came out with a law stating that they can control anything electronical in your car and record you. This is already law, by the way. That video's on my channel. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Next time I'm gonna have it, because I'm pretty sure that's, hold on, matter of fact, let me see if I could quickly look for that video, because I know that's on the channel. Y'all need to see that if y'all don't, if you unfamiliar with what I'm talking about. And I put the law in there. I'm gonna quickly try to find that. But they all correlate. Keep in mind, this is all technology here, telecommunications. And within the flick of a button, oh no, it's not that one. Within the flick of a button, the police officers are able to shut you off. Your windows roll down. I don't know about you, but I recall when the police pulled me over, I'm cracking the window. I don't want it to a point where my window roll all the way down. I don't like that. I don't like that. This trick taser turn on gas. Is it that one? Oh man. It's somewhere around here. It's either this one. Okay, it's either the one that's going to say, why are they called smart devices? Or it's going to be the one that says dark side of technology phase 1. Or the one that says, why are they called smart devices phase 2? Y'all got it. Whatever one I'm talking about technology. This was 2 years ago too. It's going to be one of these. It's gonna be one of these. Yeah, I'm double checking. It's gonna be one of those. It's in there. It's in there. But either way, check those out, especially if you want to know about that type of technology dealing with this Tesla. Because I know it's some people out there that got the Teslas. It's like, when they want to come after them Cybertrucks, it's the next big thing. The whole time it's a steer-by-wire system, and if that battery drain or if they shut that power off as your vehicle is moving, and you can't steer that joint mechanically, meaning that you can't steer that joint manually, I don't like that, bro. Like that part right there, I don't got no control over the car. I don't like that. That's an electron. Look, that's all electrical. Steer-by-wire system eliminates the use of mechanical linkages in a steering system and instead only relies on electrical or electrical mechanical systems for steering. Hell no. Hell no. I don't like that. I don't even see how that was, and Tesla not the only one. It's gonna be some. I think Toyota did this too. I think I can only recall Toyota, but I don't like that. I can't understand how this is being like passed. Like it's all cool, it's convenient. That's the same thing they saying with these cell phones. It's all cool, it's convenient. Same thing they saying with this internet. The 5G, it's all cool, it's convenient. I don't like that, y'all. I'm just bringing awareness. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Notice how I ain't tell you to go give up your Tesla. I ain't tell you to put down your cell phone. I ain't tell you to change your wireless provider. I ain't tell you to cut your internet off. But what I am going to tell you is not to have no goddamn electronics in your bedroom where you sleep. As your body trying to rest and your body raises to its highest temperature in order to rejuvenate itself and flush itself out, you shouldn't have nothing electronical in your room. Because at any given moment, that device could be running something in the background and emit radiation. And what happens when heat meets radiation? It makes it worse. I'm talking about not only your cell phone, that's your TV, that's your laptop. Stop having that stuff in your room. I don't care if you need to go watch the game. Watch it in the living room. And look, and if your bedroom is right next to the living room, and that TV is hanging on that wall, and the back of that TV is going towards that wall that leads into your bedroom, keep in mind, you ain't got no metal in between it. You better start looking up how to stop radiation for being transmitted to your bedroom. You could use some cloths. They got some things out there right now. And look, that's just me telling you. There's options that you got out here. If anything, just try to move the radiation out of the way of your body, especially when you sleep. That's all I'm saying. Because yes, it can. You're an electrical being. Yes, it can affect you. I don't want anything to happen to you. I love you. Just like how I love my children and my wife and my mother and all the rest of my family. I wouldn't want anything happening to them. I don't want anything happening to you. Especially when it can be prevented. When it comes to these planes, and when it comes to these EVs that they promoting, keep in mind they forcing California to get EVs about, at a certain time. They don't want you to drive no gas powered car. Those of y'all that's in California, y'all need to hurry up and try to get Governor Newsom up out of there. Y'all need to, that whole thing need to be wiped out clean here. Forcing y'all to get EVs by a certain time, because I can't remember the date. I remember Top Cat said that date. I believe it was like 2026 or it could have been like 2030. I don't know. But I know that's what they were trying to make, law. Like, no more gas powered cars, all EVs. Nah, F that. Nah, we can't let them get away with that. That's why I'm seeing a lot of y'all Californians coming out here. Look, let me drop a bomb for y'all for doing that. Like, where my bomb at?
Set it on fire. Fire. Fire.
Give y'all a round of applause.
Free thinkers.
Y'all moving. Y'all packing up coming to Texas, huh? Texas or Florida, I don't blame you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I do not blame you. Man, shoot. Why I cut off? Oh, okay. My computer, I got a bunch of stuff going on. My computer trying to catch up with everything. But yeah, man.
It's up.
I was like, yeah, let me bring awareness to the folks because this is still an ongoing situation. Now, just to go back just a tad bit, the situation dealing with the planes, yes, was occurring 2021, 2022, especially, and then 2023 majorly when everybody had to ground nationally. Everybody was grounded nationally. This is now 2024. We are at the end of May, okay? The majority of the situation started happening last year in June, okay? Last year in June. So I just need y'all to be aware that when, things get real iffy when it's hot outside. Okay. Now the reason why I think all these tornadoes and all the rest, like they really trying to, control the weather and control the events of the weather, especially with certain areas and especially in Texas, is because they mad at Governor Abbott. Well, Abbott. They mad at him. And to go back to what people were stating earlier, remember we were talking about the movies. If you have not seen the movie Civil War, watch it. Because the movie Civil War, I didn't like it because it's so close to a lot of things. Without giving it away, it's so close to a lot of things that's happening. That's why I didn't like it. But because me and my wife watched it and we were kind of speechless at the end because it was like, yo, who was that president with the red tie? Who is that? The only president I can recall that usually wears a red tie anytime he give. Ladies and gentlemen, I just didn't like that part right there because I ain't like that message. And they started on that in 2023. And I was like, damn, that's kind of deep. That's kind of deep. because of what took place, without me giving it away. But they were showcasing the Western forces. They called it WF, Western forces, mainly led by Texas and California. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Florida was a part of it eventually. Seated. Created their own government, took over, okay? And started knocking the rest of that government out of there. Came after them too. If you ain't, no, civil war, not silver war, civil war is the name of the movie. It's out right now. It's a brand spanking new movie. If you got Prime, it's on there. It's on there. And I ain't gonna lie, it's so many hidden messages in there. I believe me and my wife are gonna do a segment on that, because even though they was following the paparazzi, well, I mean, not call them paparazzi. They were following the journalists. There we go. They were following it from the journalist perspective about everything that was taking place at that time. It was still a lot of messages involved. Even if it wasn't referring to the people per se. And I believe we're gonna do something on that. You know, I'm gonna speak with her on that, and we probably gonna end up putting it on. Shit, we could put it on both of our channels. But knowing her, that'll probably be like 45 minutes to an hour long, because there's so many things we would have to break down. Like how we broke, like what we did with see, this is another thing. When we did, because it was so many messages in Leave the World Behind, I just ended up going live stating my piece. My piece was an hour long. And then I invited other people up, and it stretched to 4 hours long. I was like, we may end up doing that same thing with this one, because it's like, I'm not trying to claim that this is real time. I'm really not trying to claim it, y'all. But things are happening. Like, we can see it. It's not like it's not in front of us. It's basically right there, because Texas, Abbott, the governor Abbott, is not listening to the Supreme Court right now. He's not listening to him. So I'm just saying. But if you haven't watched the movie, watch the movie. I'm gonna go ahead and end it on that note. I'm gonna pick it back up on a different topic, similar, but on a different topic, because of I'm going back on the things that I was talking about on my last live stream, like how I did this one. I'm going back on a few other things, bringing those points out and putting it in your face, like how I did on, you know, during this live stream. So be on the lookout for that, and that will be here shortly. I mean, I was trying to do it this evening as far as this live stream, but I ended up doing it early, so I ain't gonna give a time, but it's just gonna happen. Just know. And if you miss it, it's okay. I'm definitely going to keep it up if YouTube allow. I'm going to keep it up and you'll pay me to see it. Yeah, because they do be acting funky. I did want to show y'all one other thing real quick. Hold on, let me move this over. That reminded me. As soon as I said that, let me show y'all this real quick. 1 second. I don't know if they're gonna act funky with this, y'all, but this was also, Hold up. All right, there we go. This is also something I wanted to point out. I hope they don't get funky with me, but this is the Gwen Towers, and notice how the it looks very similar to those same towers that's controlling the weather and stuff like that. And then in certain cases, they look like the same towers as far as the telecommunications are concerned. I just want to point this out. Some of y'all may be familiar with this and notice how that guy that I was showing you earlier was talking about that this is 1950s technology. Okay. Now, of course, because the military was utilizing it, that's what was, you know, and they still around. It's not like, and they're going to tell you, like, if you look this up, they're going to tell you that this has been shut down. It's not. It's not. It's all a part of telecommunications. I'm noticing that they telling you probably on YouTube and stuff like that, that, yeah, The Gwen Towers are being controlled by HARP at that time. They're interconnected. Don't worry about those little reports that you go see that's gonna say, oh no, that's fake. What they call it? That's alternative news. They ain't gonna call it, they're gonna say it's false. Oh, fact checkers. That's what they call themselves, fact checkers. That's BS. If you want a whole segment on this, I can give it to you. I did before, but I remember that was my earlier stages on YouTube, and that video was taken off of my YouTube channel. That was one of the 12 or 13 videos they took off my channel. But I can do a segment on that. I could just kind of, I could go into it to at least give you the history of where this is coming from, what Gwen stands for. And yeah, why they still around. I mean, they are being utilized. I also showed you guys in an older video of mine, which is about 2 years ago. It's one of those smart device videos, by the way. How the Navy in the UK was utilizing micro frequency waves to fry people's brains. I can only say it that way because it's the truth. And I showed you one of the in the video. I showed you one of the ex guys that used to work for the they called it the Royal Navy, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was called the Royal Navy. But he was giving this statement, letting you know what he was assigned to do. And yeah, certain particular people that they want gone, they will fry their brains using this technology. But it was a military technology. Of course, that's what they're going to say because it was a military weapon. Now, who's to say that they're not utilizing this same weapon and turning it around and telling you right now that it's being utilized as a convenience for consumers, selling it to you? So if you would like for me to get deeper to that, I will. I have before, but I can go. Simple method to find Gwen Towers, cell phone towers. I see people try and point that out. I mean, I can show you this stuff too. It's pretty simple. But I know over time they were trying to get rid of that. I may even get in trouble for saying that term because they were trying to eliminate that term at that time. They still doing that censorship crap right now. So we'll see. Hopefully this is still staying up. And if it is, then I might even implement that in the next one on top of the other topics, is they're all going to correlate in the next live stream. So yeah, it is very serious, y'all. In fact, I may even play parts of what I just said right there. I'll play that during the next live stream so you guys can see that I'm not just talking crap. I'm really not talking crap. I talk shit and be talking shit because I could back it up. How about that? How about that? But yeah, man.
Set it on fire, 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 fire.
Yeah, so let me do this right now. Shout out to K5. Thank you for becoming a member. Oh, been a member for 12 months in a row. Hey, Code Chief, thank you for becoming a member. And I believe, I got some subscribers too. I appreciate that, y'all. Thank you for subscribing. Mook, thank you for becoming a member. Coco Bean, thank you for becoming a member. Latrice, thank you for becoming a member. Yeah, I appreciate that, y'all. And hold on. I told y'all I was gonna get to y'all right now with that Cash App situation. I appreciate y'all for the, donation on the Cash App like that too. I appreciate that. Hold on, let me start dropping some bombs right now. Let me put that. Hold on, let me. Gotta do the big bomb. Abdul, thank you. I appreciate that. That's a big bomb right there. Thank you, Abdul. And Brenda, thank you for your donation as well. I appreciate that. Kimberly, you said, oh man, I gotta get in there and check the 13% messages. I'm gonna get in there, Kimberly. Shamar, at work with it and tuned in. I appreciate that, Shamar. Donald Wade, thank you. I appreciate that. And E Blue, Oh, sister, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I believe that's E Blue. Oh man, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it'll be double up. That's a big don't know, sister. I appreciate that. She said truth and knowledge. Absolutely. There go sister. Sister Vanessa, thank you for always showing love like that. I hope you're doing well too, sis. All right, Southern Play, thank you for becoming a member as well. Shout out to all my moderators. Let me set it on fire for my moderators.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
All right. Absolutely. If y'all haven't already, hit that subscribe, that like, hit that notification bell. Sometimes that stuff don't come out properly. You know how YouTube do, but we just got to make sure that we on time with it. I appreciate y'all for coming out like that. We will pick back up on this. And I see people were telling me to definitely go into this part right here. I will do that. I might even throw in some extra stuff too now I think about it, because it's all correlating information, and still touch on the stuff that I was touching on during the last live stream. Yeah, I can see that happening. You know, but I can't give a time of when that's going to happen as far as a timing. It could be in the early day, it could be afternoonish, it could be in the evening, but it's going to be on time either way. You know, the other time I was tired, I was up, 72 hours crashed. I apologize. But when I'm working, I'm working. You know, it's other people out there acting like they working. They ain't doing it for real. They ain't with us shooting at the gym. All right, man.
Set it on fire. 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 Fire.
Let's go. We gonna lead it out with M16, you know? 16, what up? We gonna get him hype. I'm gonna need me some coffee too. Listen, I ain't about to rap. Don't get it twisted. I ain't about to rap right now. What up, Pearly? Thank you for coming out. Blue Dreamer, what up? Sister Bethy in the building. Hey. Niji Warrior in the building. Devontae in the building. Soulful Niji. Anastasia. Delicia. Roy, what up? I appreciate y'all coming out like that, man. Hey, I like that part right there. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Hell of a show. I appreciate that. I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all next time. It's gonna be quick though. It's gonna be quick. Y'all take care. Wado. I'm just here to make you think.
Slow down. Yeah.